Yeah. What up? It's the MikiDz podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 68.
Hey, 68.
Hey, okay.
That's what percentage my phone's at. Tight.
Oh,
Nice.
man. Look at that.
That's a sign. It's manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
What's your moon sign? Anybody know?
I don't know. It's beyond me right now.
Has anyone ever asked you to like what time you were born to find out your moon sign?
Yes.
No.
No?
No. Do you know what time you were born?
I actually don't.
Nope.
I'm sure it was told to me at some
3:45
point.
a.m.
3:45 a.m.
3:45, 3:46. Yeah.
That's easy to remember, 3:45.
Yeah.
I think I'm like a 1:14 p.m.
I think it's funny when, I'm going to pick on girls right now. I think it's funny when girls say, what's your sign? And I say Aries, they go, oh, that's why. No,
Man,
you don't
You know
stop.
me. You knew me for 15
Shut up.
minutes. All
Shut
of a
up for
sudden.
15 seconds.
Right. All of a sudden.
I'm a Capri Sun.
Shit.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, it
that
all
would make
makes sense.
Please.
You know, women and their witchcraft.
Come on, man.
Some women, not all women.
Not all women.
Not all
No, no.
women. Jesus Christ.
Not our women.
Before we get in trouble. But
Hey.
more importantly, that's true.
Yeah.
So in case you haven't watched the video yet, and
Well, what video was it, Mike?
yeah, it was the premiere of the
Mhm.
Pioneer
Mm.
DJMS 11.
Mhm.
Woo, man.
Do you think they skipped the 10 because they don't like even numbers?
Yeah, I don't understand. What's up with that? Why they do that?
Maybe there's a connection with 911.
Emergency.
Conspiracies.
It comes built in with a
Conspiracy.
siren.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah, you guys just gotta connect the dots.
This shit's so good, it's illegal for you to use it.
Should got a life alert button.
We could be here all day with this shit.
Well,
We won't.
yeah, I don't think Pioneer's going to be asking us what other features on the S13.
She's like, Pioneer's watching is just like, see, this is why we don't give these idiots shit to showcase.
That's why, yeah. Dumbasses.
Do you skip S13 like elevators? Do you skip a 13, you know?
Well, they skip 13 on planes too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no 13th row.
I'm like, damn, MS-13 got y'all shook too? Come on, man.
But I heard that's changing though. I've heard there's a couple flights that actually have a 13th row in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see how long they last.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't watched the video, please make sure to go watch that over at DJcity.com/news.
And there's also a 37-minute walkthrough video from, of course, Mojax.
Was it 37?
It's 37 minutes,
Long,
yeah.
bro. I know I looked at it, it was long.
But I heard it was detailed.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
no, it's a
Detailed.
walkthrough.
Yeah.
Nothing less that we would expect.
Right.
from
Of course,
Mojax.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it.
What is everyone's first initial thoughts?
My first initial thought is the timing that they're choosing to release it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get
we are
one
where we are.
you know what we're dealing with at the moment. You know, I would assume everyone's funds are a little low. The last thing they're thinking about is purchasing this expensive piece of hardware.
Yeah.
That was my first thoughts, but it made it to a certain extent it made sense because Rain just released that 70, and it's been kind of taken over a little bit. So
Yeah.
they have to put something out. You know, that's their competition right now.
Well, maybe they thought the second round of stimulus checks would come out around this time.
No,
I'm serious. Maybe there was like a plan.
that's a valid point, but that
that
mixer
part.
costs a lot more than what you're gonna get in that stimulus
Well,
check.
this has been completed. This has been done for a while because remember, A-Track used it months ago and was looping and doing all this stuff on it. Or was he using the Rain?
That was a ring.
That was Rain.
Rain.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that was the
Never
Rain
mind.
72 you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it works. Sorry to cut you off, but I think I agree with you on the timing and as far as the financial side of things. As a business, it sounds like, well, I'm going to assume that Pioneer, at the end of the day, they have to make their numbers, right?
Mhm.
So they got to throw something out there.
Mhm.
And nothing like a brand new product to kind of get that going. That's number one. Number two, it's probably a really great time for DJs that do have the funds to go and try something new out.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to necessarily try it outside.
Yeah.
True.
And it feels like the new streaming world, there's a lot less flack on a fucked up blend or loop or
True.
things like that.
Yeah, one thing that first question that came to my mind was, does it sound better? And I saw someone say the sound card is better than the S9. I think I speak for the three of us when I say we don't care for all the like tricky things you can do with it. we probably won't be staring down at the screen to
Yeah.
make sure the track stays lined up on on beat. But yeah, if I really wanted to upgrade, to a higher quality sound in regards to the mixer, and I had a couple thousand lying around, sure.
Yeah. I would. I don't.
1999.
Guys, I don't know if you noticed the sound quality in the S9 and how low it is.
Yeah.
When you compare it to another mixer,
Like an 808 Pioneer.
yeah, or something like that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Well,
it's crazy.
And typically, how many times have you seen this? I think I've seen this a couple times, but like they'll actually daisy chain a S9 into a
Yep.
Pioneer.
Just to,
Oh, yeah.
just to get that quality to improve a little bit more.
Yeah, and like when we were out DJing, I was perfectly fine using the Pioneer 808, or even the 909. I mean,
the
I
900.
was
You mean 800?
Yeah, no,
the 800. Yeah,
the
800. Yeah.
yeah.
Because most of the venues I did already had that, and it was just like, I don't need the S9.
standard,
this,
yeah.
it's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, sound quality was good.
If anything, I just gotta get used to the effects again. But usually it's like a reverb or an echo.
But you got an S9 at the crib, right?
Yeah.
And you have this.
I have the S9 in the Range 70.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ballin'.
Which one are you on? Which one is Sean on?
Sean's on the S9.
You'll get there, Sean. You'll level up.
We'll get you off the training wheels.
Like you said, when you get taught the fundamentals, you don't need all the bells and whistles. You know what I'm saying?
What is the old saying? If you know how to drive a stick, you can drive any car.
anything.
Feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you
I
learn
like
how to
it.
drive the stick.
I'm a huge Rain product. I love Rain mixers. Remember when I had your 56 for fucking ever? I had that shit forever. I was riding it for as long
I wonder
as I
how
can
much
remember.
it's worth. Well, I don't know how much it's worth now, but at some point, wonder.
So I was
get up in
excited about Rain coming out with their version of what the S9 was, and then they originally introduced the 72, but the 72 got like ripped apart.
Mm-hmm.
They had their series like the Rain 61, like that was a fucking waste. That was a dumpster fire mixer. Like the main outputs were 1/4 inch. Like, why wouldn't you put some XLR outputs on this shit? Anyways, I was excited for when they announced the 70, and I was excited about it and just seeing where it was gonna go. So when it finally released and a lot of people got their hands on it, and some of these tech guys reviewed it, and they were praising it like crazy. One of our good friends, shout out to Cleveland Terry, I hit him up on the side. I said, "Come on, man, you know me. Tell me the truth." He's like, "You're gonna love it." I said, "Say less." Copped.
Say less. Give me yours.
Yeah, right. I was like, "Cop."
Run that. What size is that?
Yeah,
What size is
exactly. So I was like, it was automatic cop, and I love
For
it,
the
man.
streets.
Like the features, just the
Tell them to send you another one.
It's been minor features that the S9 doesn't have.
Right.
Just like the automatic instant double button that's on the mixer that you can do.
I would
That's a
love to
game
have that.
changer.
Yeah.
That's on what?
That's on the Rain 70.
You
That's-
just double click the knob. You could double click the knob on the S9.
Oh, is that how they do
That's
it?
instant double.
What's the hotkey on the keyboard? What's the hotkey on the keyboard to get instant double?
Control shift and then the arrow over.
Yeah.
So what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Control.
Command shift over.
Command
What you call it.
shift,
Yeah.
Depending on what PC or
Well,
Mac.
That's
But
like,
yeah, it's literally a button because they have two buttons sitting next to each other, and
Yeah.
you just hit the button, and then it
Boom.
what you call it. The pads, right? When you can assign the pads to either cue, sample, roll, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know how on the S9, when you hit it, it changes both sides.
yeah.
On the 70, it's individually,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? So this side, I can have my cue points.
Right.
Yeah.
On this side, I can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
my
That's cool.
That's
what you call it.
beneficial.
That's extremely beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially for these guys that are doing like this more advanced, like trick mixing shit
Yeah,
like
of course.
that and whatnot. And
Yeah.
they want to use samples and cue points and shit like that. Game changer.
Yeah.
Game fucking changer. That's just off the bat, like, two features that I personally fell in love with. Obviously it has two mic inputs, et cetera, et cetera. So in my opinion, it's been a great mixer. I'm pretty sure I'm not utilizing it to its full potential,
Right.
but I love it. The S9 again, it is a great mixer.
Yep.
I love the fader on it, but again, the faders on the Rain products are my favorite. Like I'm like,
Right.
yo, you can't beat that.
And that's one of the things that they do mention in the S11 being a big upgrade for them is the fader.
It's the fader, yeah.
Along with the fader would be the quality of the sound that
Mhm.
that's coming out now. And then I mean, obviously that screen just does a lot of work, and it seems like you have a lot of different banks that you can mess with. And I think I did see that you can isolate the two sets of pads. It looks like.
Yeah,
It
I'm
looks
sure
like they
that
took some
everything.
notes.
Yeah, everything that the Rain can do. I'm sure that the S11
Right.
is can do plus more.
Right.
Yeah, and I saw some guys not complaining. They were just saying, looks like they just stole whatever the Rain did, and they were kind of bashing for that. But it's like, look, man, like who cares? Like you got to get out of that mentality of we did it first,
Yeah,
or your favorite company did it first. Like who's doing it the best, or who did it the best?
exactly.
Right.
I think that screen is going to hurt because that was the same issue that Rain experienced with having their screen on there.
Mhm.
Is that people
with
kind
their
of
heads
like
down.
put their heads down, having to figure out how to navigate through the screens and shit like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I think. And again, I haven't seen the reviews on the S11 yet, so I'm sure they probably advanced those features
Yeah.
better than what Rain did. But I knew that was they were getting a lot of negative remarks on that with the screen thing, so that's why the 70 was a bigger success in that field, or at least with that feature, because there was no screen. They have a little one that you can navigate certain things with, but it's all like prior to if you want to like program it a certain way, and you can program it in the mixer, and then you just leave it. You have it, it's good to go, and then obviously you're using the pads and whatnot and stuff like that.
With all this mixer talk, I gotta ask the question. All-time favorite mixer? Go.
I'm probably gonna roll with the 56.
Okay.
It's that's hard for me. I love
Great fader on that.
the 56 fader was amazing. The
that
56 was amazing. I think the 57 was amazing because it was the first mixer that had
Built-in
the Serato,
Serato.
integrated into it.
Yeah.
But if we're like, for me, it's going to be between the Pioneer 909 and the Vestex 05 with the Pro X fader on it.
Mhm.
Like those were the mixers that when we were coming up, we were on heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
You know what's funny about that Vestex? I used to see some of the best guys on that. Then they had the battle use the
Yeah.
Vestex, and when I got on a Vestex, I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Because it just doesn't sound as crispy as these other guys. I'm like, either this mixer's fucked up or I'm really, really bad.
And it
might be the latter.
It was the one that had the little effect button on it too. The one that you could do all like the echoes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that shit was crazy, man. I love that mixer.
Yeah.
I think I still have it actually.
Wow.
The which one?
The Vestex
Vestex.
05. Man, I think I still have it, man. But between that one and what you call it, like, yeah, it would be between those three, the 56, the 909, and the Vestex.
Look, I already know Styles Davis is gonna be on me with this one, as well as what you just said. But that DJM 909 was like
Man,
a body of work. Like it was beautiful.
It was.
The effects were amazing.
Amazing,
That whole deco was nuts. Like it was just such a clean mixer at its time.
yeah.
And just to mix things up, I'm gonna ask you guys because I have one in mind, but the most underrated mixer, bang for your buck, to me was the 707 Pioneer DJ.
Oh, I remember that. I remember this.
which is literally the 909,
but
minus
small.
the
Those
effects.
flex,
Yeah.
yeah. It was smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what the crazy thing about it is, at that time, Pioneer was not known for their mixers. Like, you know
No,
what I mean?
no,
Unless
yeah.
you were a house DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these battle DJs, it was
In the
Rain
battle
or Vest-
world, no.
Yeah, it was
they-
Rain or,
yeah.
or Vestex. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't look at Pioneers as for mixers because they were making everything, car stereos and everything else. We were like, what the fuck y'all know about the DJ?
Yeah.
Well, the DJM 500 and 600 and 700 were still, even though like the skeleton of the 8 and 900s, I remember them being, I remember when we opened Infusion Lounge, like I believe the first mixer they had in there was the 500.
But there's a 4-channel one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't have a crossfader. Like it had a crossfader, but it was all like
It was fade.
You
Yeah.
couldn't change it from like cut to like fade.
Yeah,
It was all fade.
And that's what I'm saying. Those were designed for the house DJs.
Yeah,
those were
for sure.
designed for the house DJs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you want to hook up multiple setups.
Yeah.
Because you guys had turntables and CDJs.
Right.
Yeah. So those mixers were perfect for a lot of club venues.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when that 909 came around,
All right.
oh boy,
Mhm.
man, I was like, I definitely have. I have the 909 set right underneath my
I'm gonna have to set
my
that up.
setup. I might have to set it up. No, my shit has a short in it, so I can't fuck with it no more.
All right.
Yeah.
That was usually the problem with that.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
But put it in a museum somewhere. Do we want to cover a little bit of feedback that we got from the last week's podcast?
Yeah. There were, we talked about basically DJs stop acting like pussies,
right?
And just
you're being soft.
Take it on the chin and keep it moving, or just basically stop being soft. And the people that did reach back to me who I have a lot of respect for and who are OGs. Like, they weren't hitting me up to kiss my ass. They hit me up just like, yo, like, this is what we tell people, or, we're 100% with you on this.
Mm.
So the feedback was dope on that. And I mean, we don't have to get too deep into it, but, again, don't fight for your limitations, and, take some constructive criticism and keep it moving.
Yep.
And don't fight for others' limitations, because that's really what the issue was.
Right.
He was fighting for someone else. Like, no, man.
Stop being soft.
Yeah, stop being soft for others. Shit.
Right.
But yeah, so shout out to those guys. Shout out to those OGs who continue to lead the way and pave the way, and from a cultural standpoint, for sure.
Big up.
Yeah, and speaking of OGs, I mentioned Marco Penta has been helping me the last few pods or episodes on my Twitch streaming.
Yep.
And he's been like that angel on my shoulder with all this, giving me a lot of help and a lot of phone calls and FaceTimes and figuring this shit out. And I know we figured it out this time. But I teased a couple of his points. And Mickey said, why don't you ask him if he can just put together a list or something he would, advise people to do who are just starting out on Twitch or been doing it for a while, and just stuff that he recommends.
Yep.
And through his own market research and talking to a lot of people that have been twitching, for those that don't know, Marco twitches from 12 to 4 New York time every day during the week.
Wow.
And I see him in other chat rooms, and he's definitely in my chat room when he's not on. So he's really taking this seriously. He has a green screen. He knows, like, there's a Twitch community.
Yeah.
And these are people that are telling me how to do shit. Like, you gotta do this. I'm like, oh shit, like, you're not even a DJ and you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows all the people in the Twitch community. So yeah, he gave us a list of things to go through.
Yeah.
And Mickey will kick off the first portion of it.
Yeah. So if you're gonna get started, number one, just start. You can't overthink the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we look at getting a setup, or we'll see a dope green screen and a video happening. And you don't have to start there, right? Rell has grown his setup over time.
Yep.
And he's evolved his production, but those are things that once you get comfortable with everything else, there's really no correlation between production value and viewership. It's really about your personality and what's kind of coming through. And even on the video side of things, you don't really need to get crazy. Even here on our podcast, we're actually using C922 Logitech cams. Versus a DSLR, which sometimes it's good to have a good video, but audio takes a bigger priority when it comes to the stream, especially when you're dealing with music related streams. And then of course, your overlays are going to be a big part of your aesthetic. They should reflect your personality, and I would also remind everyone that in the grand scheme of Twitch in particular and streaming, music is such a small portion of that pool.
Yeah.
There's literally millions upon millions of stream content creators, and you can't get kind of caught up. You got to just keep going and be consistent.
Yeah. Consistency is key. You could do a lot of this stuff with little to no money. You know what I mean? As far as what you need to get. Mickey just mentioned about, getting certain cameras that you could use. I know Marco said that he started off with an iPhone.
Yeah.
Right?
Same. Yeah.
I use an iPhone.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky enough to have an iPhone Pro 11. So
yeah,
if you guys know what that camera is like, pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I to this day I still use a camera.
You gonna get iPhone 12?
Yeah, we gonna talk about that.
I mean, since you're using 11 to stream, I mean, it's just a side phone now. It's a trap phone.
I don't know. Well, we just happened. We ended up, wifey and I ended up in a situation where we happened to end up with a spare one, and we never returned it. So we were like, "Fuck it, we'll just use it to stream with."
Smart.
So it was like, "All right, cool." Instead of just like having to go out and buy, a camera or two or whatever or something like that. So we got that. So yes, we use. If anyone's ever seen my stream, and I know I have a couple of people that watch our podcast that check out the stream. We use an iPhone. We use an iPhone for our stream, and it works perfect for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know guys that use like an iPhone 6 for theirs.
Nice.
You know what I mean, and it works for them. So you know what I mean. You want to make sure you got good lighting. You want to, regardless if you're using a green screen or not. Obviously, if you're using a green screen, it's necessary to have great lighting.
Yeah.
And a mic. Talk to the people, man. Interact. I think that's a huge thing that a lot of DJs are not utilizing. These days. It's great. We want to hear music. We love that shit, but you still have to show some personality. Like Mike was saying, with just making your presentation personable and showing your personality. Yeah. That's more of how you get to express that is through mic and talking and
and you can use the music, like whatever song you're playing, if it takes you back to, like I was talking about Diaz at Quinceañeras when I was playing Spanish music.
Exactly, man.
And that shit was lit. Like that conversation was funny with all the Latin women in there.
Yo, and it's crazy. Like I literally will be telling a story and then I'll think of a song that will just fit the story that I'm telling, and I'll just keep going with it and going with it, and I'm just like, it works out perfect when you're able to talk to him. It's a fun fact that he wrote that I didn't notice, I wasn't aware of, is he wrote that all the cables that you're using, keep them under 6 feet because you start to lose quality. I did not know that. And I think one of the cords that I use from my camera to my laptop, is like 8 feet or whatever or something like that.
Is it one single cord though?
It's one single cord.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason why I had to get a longer one, pause, is because we have two setups. So I have to push the camera back further to capture both setups.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just it being one. Obviously, I can have it close up if it was just me.
Yeah.
But because wifey and I or Sean and I will be doing streams together, I need it to be pushed back a little bit. So I need that longer cord.
Yeah.
He said, I got lost in my notes. As obviously knowing OBS, if you're using OBS, using it front to back, it's very user friendly, but it does log up a lot of your CPUs on your laptop. If you're using, I don't know, I personally use a different laptop to run OBS on, but I know a lot of DJs that are using OBS on the same laptop that they're DJing from. So just be aware of that, making sure that you have enough space on your laptop to be able to run a smooth stream and whatnot. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is fucking key, bro.
Wi-Fi lit.
Wi-Fi is key. I've had, to this day, I still run into little issues with my Wi-Fi. If you got an Ethernet cable that you can run,
his wife.
that you can run directly into the laptop that you're streaming with, do it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I can't do that, and I have a ton of shit going on. I have probably the strongest Wi-Fi that I can possibly get. And I still run into issues here and there.
Yeah.
I get like a little stutter in my video. Yeah. So I'm literally cutting the Wi-Fi off of everything in the house.
Turn the Roomba off.
Yeah, everything gets cut off. If it's not being used for the stream, it gets cut off.
He said, "Turn the Nest off."
Yeah,
turn the cameras off. Shut it down.
Everything is like my phone gets cut off. The Wi-Fi on my phone gets cut off. The laptop, my DJ laptop, I'm not using the Wi-Fi on my DJ laptop, so that gets cut off. Same thing on wifey's or same thing on Sean's when he's using it. We're not using unless you need to use it to whatever. Cut it off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let the because we mirror our we play the stream on our Apple TV. If you guys have Apple TV, obviously the new 4th generation, you can download the Twitch app on there, and we play our stream off the TV in our studio. Yeah. So we can see the stream, we can see the comments and stuff like that. So that takes up a lot of the Wi-Fi. Yeah. Obviously the OBS laptop that we're using takes up a lot of the Wi-Fi. And we talked about it. So yeah, I mean, just make sure you got. Again, this is a lot of stuff that you probably already have. If you're in the DJ realm, you don't need a lot of money. if excuse me, you don't need much, and if you don't if you're on a budget, you can get a lot of this stuff for cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these cameras weren't much, right? The C N922s,
$100.
Yeah.
I'll offer up.
you know what I'm saying?
some
Like
shady guy.
that's if you know what I'm saying. Those are some decent price cameras that you can get and run with. Lighting is extremely inexpensive right now.
Yeah.
You can get some nice like little spot. What do you use lighting on yours?
I got a Ring, but I'm still trying to figure out when the best place for it is.
Yeah, I like, and these little like
So
you
get two
can get a pair. Yeah, you can get a pair. You can get a pair of
Oh, I
ring.
was actually talking about the other Ring.
You can get a pair of rings on Amazon, I think, for like
Talk about that
30,
later,
40
Joe.
bucks and shit like that. So
Yeah.
What other finger you got? Never mind.
wow.
So if you're just starting out, which I believe it or not, the people that still are just starting out, quite like myself, what I recommend and what Marco recommends is set up a dummy stream. I didn't set up a dummy stream. I just jumped into it, but I didn't make an announcement. Marco suggests not to make an announcement because you got to figure out where all the glitches are. You got to figure out if your stream's going to run smooth. My stream didn't run smooth. And on my second go round, fortunately, I had a bunch of glitches and I had to unplug and plug back in and everything was fine. I was also streaming directly into my laptop and using Loopback as a sound card.
Mm.
I'm going to fast forward real quick. We set up my Apollo Twin as a sound card and I streamed today and had no issues. I've been dummy streaming for the last 2 days, no issues. So I think that fixed my issue with all the glitches. But yeah, the second time, I only had one glitch and Marco's like, are you sure? Because I said, yo, Angie's going to raid. I invited Angie. She says she's going to raid. He's like, you sure you want to do that with all these glitches? I'm like, well, I mean, it's not like shit's shutting down or it's like terrible. I just got to get ahead. I just got to unplug and plug back in real quick.
And keep it going, yeah.
So yeah, that worked out well. I only had one glitch during that situation. So definitely, and by setting up a dummy account, just use a different email address, get another key, and put the key into your OBS. He recommends going on at different times, figuring out where you are comfortable, what fits your schedule, and you don't want to clash with other DJs. Like I know a lot of people that I'm learning. A lot of people that watch me now also watch Scene. So I don't want to go on the same time at Scene. I want to go probably at the end of his set or a little bit after him. Same thing with Angie.
Right.
I want to go on right after her. What's going on?
I can't help it, but the fact that Sean never opened our light.
Oh,
So this part of our podcast is brighter.
yeah. So yeah.
I said that earlier. That
Real
it's dark in
things.
here, right?
No,
You did
no.
say that.
I understood what you
Yeah.
meant, but it's because we had turned off these other lights. Real life production value here, guys. Lighting is important.
Yeah, exactly.
In the moment.
I had to text Sean.
Now, no, go back and see which lighting is
Don't
better.
even cut this out.
That's what I was like. Oh, so we don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was closed. I was like,
I don't know
okay.
why, but I thought it was pointing at you. I'm like, why is the light pointing at Sean?
I'm trying to get my camera time, motherfucker.
Come on, guys.
Mickey
MikiDz taking
Cox
it.
drop.
Real life experiences right here,
But the
man.
reaction when I text Sean, like, hey, is the light that you carried all the way up
That's
here?
why you're
Is
giggling
that
so hard.
heavy light that you carried all the way up here supposed to be closed? And Sean just had that like,
He's like, you're waiting for the headliner to go on.
he's like, oh,
You know, at the beginning of the night, you got to keep it dark and dim, you know, keep it sexy. And then when the headliner goes on, you turn
And
the
I
lights
burned
on.
them. Shit.
Oh man.
So again, figure out what time's the best time for you. Again, you don't want to clash with other DJs. For me, Friday afternoon or late afternoon works for me. It's like that pocket in somewhere in between. Like I think a lot of people go on around 12 to 2 and then 5 on. So I'm trying to get in after that first wave and right before that second wave. Rell goes on at night. That seems, but he's very consistent with this Wednesday. So he has his established crowd that's probably more turned up on a Wednesday night than any other situation,
Yeah,
right?
believe it or not, yeah. I
Because
think
you've done Sundays.
I've done
and
Sundays.
Wednesdays is still stronger.
And our Tuesdays and our Wednesdays, believe it or not, have been stronger. And I think if you haven't mentioned already, Marco's, he made a good point about like, staying away from certain days of the week
Yeah.
because everybody named Mama are streaming on those days. But yeah, Tuesdays, like these weekdays, and that's what I didn't remember. You and I were having a conversation, and I was like, "Yo, you got the perfect time slot for the days that you're doing it, and the time slots that you're doing it. It's perfect because everybody is looking for stream, or everyone is tuned into streaming, even if they're not interacting in the chats. They're still listening to, whether they're in their whips, whether they're at work, whether you know what I mean, they're at the cribs cleaning or whatever. They're always at that time. They're always listening, and usually at night, people are kind of winding down. Right. You know what I mean? They don't want to get too turned up, so. I think Joe, he figured as far as like the timing, you guys figured that shit out like on point because your shit was lit today. I was like, wait a minute, motherfucker.
And Paris Paul was definitely a big help for that. When he jumped in, it jumped up to about 90. I think it was at like
because he rated you, right? Yeah.
He rated
Paris
me.
got a nice fucking following. He does the same time as you do.
Yep. So yeah, and that's another thing. And I'm not saying to go out and ask people to raid you. If you have your relationship with those people, by all means. But maybe position yourself to where when someone ends or where someone begins, you can help each other out. Put yourself in a position to be rated. Like I said, DJs are going on all day. So someone's gonna raid you or you're gonna raid someone. If you have your network established.
Speaking of that, man, shout out to DJ Shoney. He rated us again last night, man.
Nice.
And he this is like the second or third time that he did this to us. And I'm like, man, appreciate you. You know what I mean? And it's a small, it's not a crazy amount of people, but you know what I mean? I always try to do it.
But it's new people.
Exactly. It's new people. It's different people who've never seen your stream. So
Shoney's following might be completely different than
man. And and he keeps doing it. And it'll be crazy because I always feel like, damn, it's Shoney. So I already know that. Yeah. Like Shoney be turned up, you know what I mean? So I'm like, and he'll do it later on in my stream. So we're on the wind down. So we're probably playing like some cool laid back shit or whatever. But he'll keep doing it. He'll just be like, boom, boom, boom. And I'll get if.
That's probably a perfect way to end his night.
Yeah, pretty much. Some know what I'm saying? And it's just like, if he raids us with X amount of people, I'll probably be able to keep like a quarter of them and make, a quarter of like new followers from his following. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always want to put I'm always hoping that I can be streaming when he's streaming so I can raid him.
Yeah.
Right. But I haven't been able to, we haven't been able to time ourselves.
That. Yeah. And that's another thing. And this may sound completely opposite of what we just said right now. But when if Angie V rated me and I had an open format set. So I was in my Latin shits, and she told me when she was gonna raid me. So I was like, I'll just have the Latin joints going because that's her following.
Yeah,
throw in some '80s new wave shit and whatever Aquanet stuff, and then but at the same time do you. But there's not and then after Angie rated me and I went on, I rated Karma, and Karma knew what time it was. He dropped a West Coast set because he knew a lot of people that are coming from my side were Angie's or some new or just my own people that I just gathered, and they're probably from LA or the West.
Yeah.
So he immediately went to a West Coast. So it's good to pick up on stuff.
That's one thing that I always thought about, or I guess I could say I could struggle about, because then I guess your DJ instinct kind of kicks in when someone raids you and you try to figure out what it is. And it's like, yo, I don't want to lose, in a sense, I don't want to lose my identity trying to play for these people or accommodate to these new people that are in here.
And that's why I said, do you within it.
Exactly. So it's just like, and I think I've seen a lot of DJs get raided and they panic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're panic and they're like, and they'll start playing shit that like, why are you playing this shit? This is not you. Like, you don't play this shit. Like, don't play that. Like, so it's hard to be like, yo, just keep doing you. You know what I mean? And I understand that everyone that comes in with the raid is not going to stay there.
Yeah.
Right. People will come in there, they'll write raid, and then they're gone.
Yeah,
you'll be happy if you even kept 30%.
Exactly. It's shit. If you kept 15%, you're doing great. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's all because
you'd be lucky if you kept 90%, judging based off Angie's rate.
You mean 10%?
10%,
yeah. I was like, nigga, if you kept 90%, you're doing amazing, bro. Yeah, because Angie hit you with a huge number, right?
Yeah, so it started off with 1,000, and then it was like steady at 500, and then it just works its way down naturally.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people that stuck around, the last 100 people that were there, they were from her stream, and they became new followers.
Yeah.
So and people are just there just to vibe out, man.
Yeah.
Like they love who you are, your personality, and then they just continue to vibe with whatever you're doing.
And people appreciate different shit. You ain't got to be doing what the DJ that rated you was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do your thing, you know, keep your integrity, keep your identity in this shit, and keep doing what you're doing. But, you know, at the same time, we are DJs, so our job is to please a crowd.
Yeah.
So, you know, do your best to do that and just, you know, kind of like gain these new followers and these new fans, and you're going to be successful in this, man. It's great. I have a lot of fun. I see you having a lot of fun in this shit, so.
Yeah. Another thing Marco did mention when I really started having fun was when I had my crates organized. Now I have Twitch crates because I have my crates of where just music goes.
Yeah.
When I like hip hop or house. And now that it's like trying to sort through that and talk to people or figure out what I want to play next and talk to people. Like it was too much. So I was like, all right, what do I really want to play on my Twitch stream?
Yeah.
And then stick with that. And then I know within the moment I'll say, ooh, once I'm organized and I don't have any more to think about, I'll say, oh, what about that one song? Let me go digging for it.
Exactly.
Now you can be creative and you can get to shit faster. One thing Marco does that I really don't see people doing, but it seems to work out for him, stream at a minimum 4 days per week, 3 to 4 hours.
That's commitment right
That's
there,
commitment,
bro.
yeah.
That's commitment.
He says for most streamers, they hit their average number of viewers 2 hours in. If you're going past 6 hours, you'll start to see your viewers diminish unless you're doing like a hardcore 24-hour set. If you're just starting, like if you're just playing the first 7 to 12 minutes, just keep it cool. I know you just put up a screen, right?
Yeah, we put up our like welcoming screen or whatever.
So
like
don't do
10 minutes,
Don't do anything crazy. Don't make any announcements. Just, you know, let the good vibes roll. And I'm not saying don't take your foot off the pedal. Like have fun with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Just, you know, if you want to save your hot shit for later, just have
Ease
something
into
else
that
going.
bitch.
Ease into it.
Facts.
Be conscious of who you going before you. We talked about that. Be conscious of the time of day you go, when your crowd is into and what you're playing. He recommends Fridays and Saturday nights are not worth it.
Yep.
Everybody's on. There's a lot of shit going on. There's going to be a lot of people just jumping in, saying hi and jumping out. That's another thing. If you guys see DJs jumping in and you don't see them anymore, don't rely on DJs to stick around.
Nope.
They got shit to do. They're going to jump in and say what's up, show love, maybe throw an emote or a sub, and they're going to get out, which is fine. That's cool. There are people in there that will stay an hour and 10 minutes. Like Marco's said, that's the average for some people. They'll be in there for an hour, 10 minutes. And he said, compared it to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is like, 99 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, let's see, Saturdays and Sundays average is the most popular day for viewers. 4 p.m. Eastern time is the most popular time for Twitch. That's just Twitch, not just DJing. 4 a.m. Eastern is the least popular.
I would imagine.
What's that?
I said I would imagine. Who's up watching Twitch at 4 a.m.?
Dre.
Yo, Dre go crazy.
He
Yo,
does the overnight joint.
That's because nobody on Twitch. Only
Right.
Dre is on there. So I'm
He's-
like, fuck it,
it's-
we
it's
gonna
like-
watch him.
That's his time.
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably
Real-
captures people overseas.
Real cool.
I tell you what, man, if you all want to catch some dope vibes on a Sunday morning or the Saturday morning with Dre's, he's got that one show. What's her name? Sade.
Oh, yeah.
He does like Sade
That's
Saturdays or
Sade,
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and he just plays music videos.
Yep.
And that shit is a vibe. Like,
Man,
and that's
it's
really
dope.
dope because he does his hip hop night during the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he does his Sade thing. I can't lie. I was on there for an hour just like, oh my God, this woman was a queen.
Yo,
Like,
man,
it's like,
you know
yo,
what?
she
Because
was
of that, I went back and I was like, yo, I need to go get some
Sade,
Sade
yeah.
shit. Like Sade shit that I completely forgot about or wasn't even aware of. And man, like I
Yeah.
just upped my Sade crate.
And that's another thing. That's his own thing. Like create
Yeah.
your own thing. We're all playing a lot of the same stuff. Create your own thing and run with it and make it a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And big ups to Dre. Happy birthday, bro. His
Yeah.
birthday just passed.
Dre
He
Day.
had a huge Twitch-a-thon with
Yeah, he did. A crazy
he did
lineup.
Dre Day, where
Yeah,
it looked
Dre
like OT Genesis pulled up.
Yeah.
And some other people to perform. He had a little secret venue with a
Mhm.
lot of the homies, Twitch homies that pulled up and did a set.
Mm-hmm.
So big ups to that, Dre.
The top streamers get 17K to 49K viewers. That's just streamers, not just DJing. From what I've seen, Lil Jon on average gets 554 viewers compared to just a regular streamer. Angie V gets about 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So DJs are definitely a small fish in this pond. 82% of Twitch users are male, 55% are 18 to 34 years old, 62% of shows are in English. The US is the biggest market, followed by Russia, Germany, and the UK. People view Twitch 3 times more than YouTube. And the way to make money, of course, is affiliate links, custom merch, donations, sponsorships, bits, and the ads are trash compared to YouTube.
Yeah.
So, and Marco said he wanted to add more. I was like, well, we'll do it on another show.
Yeah, and I was going to say the one thing that...
There's definitely, you know, I mean,
I was going to say the one thing that he didn't mention in the notes, and I'm sure he probably wanted to add this, is like utilizing moderators.
All right.
Yeah.
Utilizing moderators is huge. If you can get, you know, a friend or someone like that to kind of like, you know, be your moderator.
There's a community out there that say, yo, I will moderate. You don't know me, but I will moderate for you.
I literally had a couple of people hit me up and be like, yo, if you're looking for a moderator, like, let me know. You know what I mean? I really dig your vibes, like you and your wife have, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And I thought that was dope. Like, I don't know them personally, but I've met them through, you know, personal friends throughout the Twitch world or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
And they would check in on the stream or whatever. So that's dope. And if you can get someone to moderate your shit and, you know, set up polls and set up like, you know, if you use the Streamlabs, basically being like, you know, check us, whatever here, like, you know, check out my OnlyFans, whatever, DJ Dainjazone or whatever, shit like that. Just kind of reminding them and setting those things or whatever and controlling how often those Streamlabs get posted.
Yeah.
Yo, that is extremely helpful. Extremely helpful.
Sure.
If you can get someone to moderate your shit like that.
Yeah. Again, shout out to Marco Penta for contributing to the culture and the community with all this.
Great tips.
Very informative. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Mickey, you ever posted a risky tweet? Like something you just like, you look back, you say, you know what, man? God, I wish I didn't do that.
I would think
Mickey?
that there's never been. First of all, you need a moderator because of people like me on Twitch.
Man, Mickey be coming in the streams hot, boy.
You got something to say. My man got something to say.
Actually, look, before we exit the Twitch room, I'm going to say this. I'm a Hall of Famer commenter when it comes to.
Oh yeah, you need a Mickey in your chat. I was just gonna say that.
And a sub gifter. I'll get to you. My bad. I've been busy, but get my money up.
But after that, I got to give flowers to someone else. Go ahead. Do your thing.
So, but fuck, what were we just talking about?
Moderators.
Tweets.
Yeah.
Yes. So, definitely. All the time, like I can think of many things that I've said that I shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think there's any one of us that hasn't. So,
before we move on to that, I got to shout. I just got my affiliate stripes today. So shout out to Gramsci came dumping subs.
Hey man, Gramsci's having a good year. You see all the fucking property he sold.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I went in there. I was like, Gramsci got that oil money, boy.
Even shout out to Duke. DJcity. Yeah, he made some money off the Lakers and sent it my way. Shout out to my boy Peanut. Should have known him since playing baseball at Branford Park. What happened?
There's always a Peanut.
Yeah. And yeah, there's
he was rattling off these nicknames. I was like, damn, fam, you know a lot of niggas, my G.
Of course, he's surrounded by them.
This is also how you get your Twitch streams up.
Right. Like the strip club in
this
there.
ain't your stream, Joe.
No, but it was definitely a dope moment, and people were there to support and just like, just they know what it like. Those people know what time it is, so they were there to just help out, and now we're moving on.
Yeah, it's always dope when you get your first affiliate. Like people come in there and they just light it up for you. And
yeah. Oh, one more thing. Going back to setting a dummy stream, have your friend there to help you. Marco was in there telling me what to do, what not to do, with no one else in the chat because I had the dummy. So definitely have someone there to walk that through with you.
Yep.
Moving on. Yeah, that was dope. Great experience.
I eventually want to come back to Twitch. I'm not gonna lie. Eventually,
organize your crates, make your life easier.
You got time. It ain't even about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm hopeful.
I would love to.
I'm hopeful. I'm being optimistic.
My single stream to me is like
it's legendary, man. It
was good. Like it was strong.
Yeah.
But I would ideally one day I'd come back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even the thought of because we're all here every Thursday, right? I was even thinking like, man, I'll just stream after the pod. Every time after the pod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about doing that too, but I would get home and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, because eventually the idea is setting up these lights drilled to the ceilings, different lights, so that this is out of the way, and then I set up that wall.
Got you.
And another thing, I got the little soft thing to stand on, the little back
Back's not
saver.
hurting no more.
Yeah.
Better, much better,
Yeah.
much better. Doing
Nice.
good.
Shoes? Shoeless?
No, I'll put on some new comfortable running shoes.
Twitchy shoes?
Twitching shoes. Put on my Twitch shoes.
These my Twitch shoes.
Don't barbers have barber shoes?
I just wear these.
I just wear these, dude. All right, moving back
Orthopedic ass.
back to Twitter. Yeah, because we were talking in the chat room yesterday, figuring out what we're going to talk about today, and I said, "What's the threshold? Like, how far can you go back and hold a tweet against somebody? Like 2 years, 10 years? Because everyone's bringing back old shit on Biden or Trump, and just person like Joe Budden always gets wrecked from 2009 tweets.
Kevin Hart got wrecked from
Kevin Knight got a job taken away because of that, right?
A big job, bro.
So can we agree on how far is too far, or how far? You know what I mean? Like,
we
statute
can.
limitation.
Statute limitation. What are we
can,
doing?
but that don't mean like society won't.
I think. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, I was just going.
No, I was gonna say. I think it depends on the actions you have shown in the moment. So let's use Trump as an example. His fans will say, "No, he's not that guy anymore." Like, bro, 4 years ago, he was just bragging about, finger fucking women. And so like he hasn't changed. He's still that dude. Now, if he doesn't
Grab him by the pussy.
exude those same actions or personalities, whatever, 4 years later, then it's like, all right, maybe he's moved on, maybe he grew up and whatever. But you can still see, in people's personalities that they're still that guy and they're unstable, like Kavanaugh during the Supreme Court hearings. The dude lost his cool and he's like, looked like a big baby up there. Nah, he ain't fit to do this job. And, you got to hold some shit against him because he's acting like a big baby.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I don't know, man, because it's kind of tough. I always feel like people are going to evolve. I don't know if you can put a time frame on when someone can evolve.
You got to give him a chance to evolve.
Exactly. That's number one.
When did Twitter start?
Like 2007?
2008? Yeah, 8, something around there.
Really?
Was it like around there?
It was like a year or two into us DJing. I think a couple years into us DJing. So it was like 08, around.
Okay, so let's
because
just
that was
say
it was like right after MySpace. We had MySpace
Yeah.
for a minute, and then Twitter jumped up.
So let's just say
Facebook.
2008. How old were you in 2008?
20.
I was 22.
23.
It's 25.
What kind of a human being were you then versus who you are
Exactly.
now?
Also, when you
Especially
realize
Sean.
when you realize on Twitter that you have a voice, like your opinion matters now because the whole world can see it, you would say the wildest shit just for attention,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
or just because you're going through something.
Actually, 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't think
we got on it.
We were probably on
It
late.
was 2009. I remember it.
It was when it popped off.
No, that's when we got on. I don't even think it was lit like that then, but we were on it.
So I remember celebrities were on early.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 09.
That's what the driving force.
So
was.
09, 24, 26, 23,
20.
20. Still
12.
20?
You
You didn't change from 2000.
Well, you said 2006?
2000.
2009, he
Oh,
said.
yeah,
8, 2009.
Oh,
So you're 21.
2021, yeah.
So you're 21.
Yeah.
Okay. Who we were then and who we are now. And Twitter back then, I would say, was more of an open journal than
Yeah.
it was an announcement venue.
Absolutely.
You know, I
You
think,
utilize the app a lot differently than you do now.
and I think social media with only MySpace, right? Because
Mhm.
MySpace was almost like maybe more of a yearbook than it was
Yeah.
a platform, right?
Yep.
And then social media took this turn where we came to realize, well, through Facebook and
Wait, sorry to cut you off. MySpace was like an EPK because I remember a lot of DJs using that to push
oh, for sure.
their promo.
MySpace then is what Facebook is now. You can
To some degree,
you could say.
I don't. The only reason why I don't agree with that because a lot of DJs have just given the middle finger to Facebook fan page and Facebook in general.
Yeah, in general. I mean,
Yeah.
we did that. We eventually did that to MySpace too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Not
Because of Facebook
hey, look,
and Twitter.
I had music playing on my fucking MySpace.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
absolutely.
put mixes up there and everything.
Hell
Shit.
yeah. That's how I learned HTML.
Yeah.
You gotta learn shit. But I agree with you on that. But again, social media definitely evolved, since then. And so I think we look at it differently, and I think we also all realize the platform we have from then till now, right? Like back then, the MikiDz show, for what it's worth, didn't even launch until September 2009, and I don't think we even knew what the MikiDz show would become until late 2010.
Yeah.
So, versus what it is today. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a great chance.
So obviously, a decade is just too goddamn long. Like, we're not picking people's tweets apart that they tweeted a decade ago.
Well, hold on. Two things. One, do you remember the way messages on Sidekicks? I feel like that was Twitter before.
That and the BBMs.
Yeah, and I remember you used to leave the most emotional, the most emo away message on, like, whatever you're going through. I remember DJ was talking about going through some shit. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, why you like, you sound like a pussy right now. Like, what's wrong? And he's in high school, so I'm just like,
that's how you get girls in the BBM.
And he's like, no, this is a thing. Like, you put your emotions out in your way, and then I started to see that carried over into Twitter. I'm like, man, people need to grow a pair.
Shit, people still doing that, but
yeah. But so yeah, there was that. And what's that?
I said, I was big on that.
I remember 50 versus Kanye in albums, and Mickey was like, you guys, we gotta support good music. We gotta support quality music. 50's album's gonna be trash compared to Kanye's. You gotta go out and purchase the Kanye.
It was a better album.
But I remember you had that as an away message.
Oh, probably.
I don't know why I remember that, but I do. Because you were like the biggest Kanye.
So realistically, what's the time frame that we're looking at? Like,
what I was saying was that I think it depends on the individual, like a lot of things. If you're still scum, like, it's gonna be telling that you're still. People, like, it's hard to hide who you are these days. Some are good at hiding it, but the people that like to project and talk a lot, it's hard to hide who they are because they get emotional and they got to say something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can tell who's grown, who's evolved, and who hasn't.
I think anything past 22 years old and some level of platform, like, it's a combination of both. If you're the guy that's gonna lead the country, you're probably going to be held at a different standard than us.
Yeah.
Like, in regards to what you said.
Yeah.
And
like,
you're probably a grown-ass
presidential.
man when you tweeted it versus when we first got on Twitter, we're arguably still trying to figure out what the fuck we're going to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
If you look 20 through 30, give them a break. All right. People are still figuring out who they are.
20 through 30?
20 through 30. People are saying a lot of wild shit.
That's
28?
25.
Yeah.
People are still saying a lot of wild shit in their 20s.
I still feel like that 27, 28, 29, like
Men?
I'm just saying cut them some
28.
slack. I'm saying cut. I'm not saying write them off. Fuck them.
I'll cut someone who's 21, 22, 23 years old a lot more slack than someone that's at 28 years old.
What I'm saying is 20 through 30, just realize they're 27, 23, whatever. They realize that people are going to say dumb shit in their 20s, and just let them figure it out.
I know people who say dumb shit in their 40s.
Okay.
I mean, but
right.
I get what you're saying.
I said some dumb shit last week.
Right. And that's why and that's why when like, if you were to say dumb shit to me, it's like, all right, he's going to figure it out. Like, let him figure it out. He's got it. But that's not a shot. I'm just saying.
Vice versa.
So when you get into your 30s, you start to see people like change. You start their energy is shifted. They're probably more focused on money and a career in their house.
Yeah.
And all investing. Like, the talk around here is, what are you investing in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you're definitely putting your energy more into that than fuck these hoes at age 27, So yeah, I think if you're going to judge someone on Twitter, just be mindful of how old they are and the type of circles they hang out with and what they do for a career.
So basically, we're saying if the tweet took place at a certain age, we can hold them less accountable.
You may want to shoot them a little bail. If it's out of line, if it's out of control, like if it's racist, like, yo, shut the fuck up.
So that's what I'm saying. So this is
like,
the reason why.
Right.
This is the reason why this conversation came up when we were talking about it, because I was like, yo, y'all hear the shit that they giving Joe Biden about. Joe Biden said some shit back in the 70s.
Right.
How old is Joe Biden in the 70s?
He tweeted?
102.
Exactly.
But it was some shit that he was quoting. I think it was like an interview or some shit like
they
that.
brought out a slab of stone.
Yeah, it was in an interview that he said, you know what I mean, or whatever. This was in the late 70s or whatever. And he said some shit like, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know it, verbatim or whatever, but it was some shit like, it was some racist shit. He was just like, I don't want my future kids. They were talking about
grow up in a jungle.
Yeah, grow up in a jungle because they were talking about segregation and having black and whites in the same school or whatever. And he was talking about how he doesn't think that's a good idea because minorities would turn the school or the public education into a jungle, and he doesn't want his future child to be raised in the jungle or some shit like that. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
for someone who and you with the point you were making earlier, like. You're someone I can imagine. How old is Joe Biden now? In his 70s?
107.
You stupid.
Yeah, no, he late 70s.
He's in his 70s, right? So this was a little over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was in his 40s.
Judging based off his behavior, I don't see that racism in him anymore.
But you also said some people are really good at hiding that.
Right, yeah. And the people that are presidential are really good at hiding a lot.
Today's 50 years.
And what I'm saying is he was into...
Get the math right.
I would assume he was in politics back then at that time, right?
He had a voice of some sort.
He had some sort of voice. He was looking forward to being some sort of politician or some sort like that. And to make a comment like that...
And also keep in mind, and I'm not shooting him on bail for what he said back in the 70s, but people in his position are going to pander to what works best for their interests. Now, saying racist shit is fucked up.
Understandable.
But I believe in that moment he was pandering and trying to get a certain group of people to sign on with him. Now he's pandering to black people.
Understandable. And I get that in the 70s.
But I'm not saying he's racist now.
In the 70s, it was a completely different time. You know what I mean? And what they were experiencing.
The funny thing is you said in the chat room, and only you can say that, none of us can say, is you said everyone was racist in the 70s. Like,
yeah, and it was. Everybody was fucking racist in the 70s.
That's just how you said it under your breath. You hear a lot of shit coming up now.
You hear a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, can we hold him, even though that was 30 plus years ago, can we hold him accountable to this day, especially because someone who is running for president.
But he didn't get the cookout invite when he ran with Obama? That doesn't get the pass? I'm not arguing for it. I can't. I'm not eligible for that kind of
Wait, you're saying that he tried to go to what are you saying?
He doesn't. He's saying because he didn't get the invite
Obama.
because he was Obama's vice president.
Oh. Look, man, you're in situations, you can't.
I mean, he must have evolved if Obama's going to bring him on, and he would have. I mean, pretty sure there's nothing that was discovered in the last 4 years.
But you can also say Obama brought him on to get a specific group of voters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Biden brought on to
this
get.
is not the politics fucking podcast.
Yeah,
No. But in regards to people shifting and changing opinions, you got to understand what they're going through
exactly
in the moment.
And the reason,
and that's why I think it depends on the individual.
Yeah, and the reason why Joe's saying why Biden brought on Harris on his bill and on his ticket because he wants to get a certain demographic to come vote for him. You know what I mean?
And doesn't mean he's not racist.
Doesn't mean that he's not racist. And I'm not saying that he is racist.
But he hasn't shown.
You're arguing that Harris is racist herself.
But he hasn't shown any racist energy, is what.
Sean, what was the question they asked her?
Oh, I don't remember, but
about who's her favorite rapper?
Did she say
Lil Dicky?
She said who?
Tupac, right?
She said who's your favorite rapper alive right now? She said Tupac. She said, well, they said Tupac's dead. You know anybody that's what you call? She says, well, I don't know because Tupac was the best.
So she doesn't listen to any rappers right now.
But that's your culture.
Okay, but doesn't mean she has to keep tabs on every new artist.
I'm not saying she's got to keep tabs on it, but there's a lot of people in it. You could have said Kendrick Lamar for a fucking
Chance the Rapper.
You could have said fucking Kanye. You could have said
Christian.
You could have said Drake.
Nah, Kanye ready for president.
You could have said Drake.
There's a man out there that is provoking white supremacy. So we could be focused on other crazier things.
No, I get that 100%. But what I'm
not saying this to you, but other people, like, if you want to get upset about something.
No, I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is if you're recruiting someone, and again, I don't know why Biden recruited Harris. It could be multiple reasons. But if we're saying basically sold off of her, helping him get the black vote, you got the wrong person to represent the black people. And in my opinion. Anyways, again, this is not a politic. Not a policy.
Speaking about crazy comments, DJ Dainjazone was recently featured on OnlyFans' official Twitter and Instagram page.
Yeah. They shouted me out. They asked me to do this video, like a welcome video. I sent it to them like a month ago when I first joined on. They reached out and they're trying to look, DJs, man. They're trying to expand to outside of hoe shit. So they're if you have a clean,
Angie said it best, hoe shit.
Yeah, if you're gonna post clean stuff and really promote your brand as a DJ, they're gonna find you and they're gonna reach out to you and see if you need any help. So they found me. They asked if they can promote. I said, yeah, I'll send you a video. And again, that was a month ago, so it finally came out. And funny thing is, like, it was just the response was just like a bunch of spam on everyone's OnlyFans account on Twitter and
doing hoe shit.
Yeah, doing hoe shit. Like, there's a dude that, like, someone complained about not getting his money's worth, and I'm looped in that shit. But it wasn't about me. It was just about, in general, this dude's not getting his money's worth from women. Another guy posted his dick. I was like, nope, block. And then, but I got a lot of subscriptions off of it. Like, people did use the link and they subscribed to my shit, and right now it's free. So it's like they didn't have to pay anything. What's it to them? Yeah. So shout out to OnlyFans and again DJs.
They just because they want to move from being known as like
they're doing everything.
Yeah, the place that they go where
and
all
they're
the whole
repeating
shit goes
like
down.
I've seen them repeat artists and actors like C-list actors, like repeating, blasting them, welcoming them, just to get the word out because they constantly have, there's always a new wave of people. Yeah. That's keeping tabs on what I mean,
doing. It's a different platform that you can, put your content on it. Why not? Why not utilize it? You know what I'm saying? If you're someone that wants to put content out there and you want to get some money from it, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, and build a following. I mean, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do first. At first I was charging $5 with the intention on upping the price. But then I realized now just build the following and then at whatever point then charge $5 or whatever it is. If you're not doing this for money, then why charge?
Yeah.
Right? So, but make them feel like they're getting exclusive shit. Make them feel like they're getting something special. And people now are commenting like, yo, I like your content. Like, okay, cool.
Charlie's making a killing on there, huh?
Charlie is making a killing. She may not be able to blast. She may not get a blast from OnlyFans, but she's coming up. Yeah. But she's making a killing.
She's making a fucking killing.
She's doing all right.
I'm not subscribed to her channel or anything like that, but from what I've heard and seen on like the other social media platforms that she's posting, I'm like, that girl killing right now. I ain't mad at her.
We might do some cross promo. She said she wanted to use some music. Like,
niggas like cross promo.
Guys, come on. Guys, come on.
Take your shirt off one time.
Won't kill you.
Speaking of not posting privates, DJ Rell has a private gig.
There you go.
Coming
up.
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
And,
first DJ gig back,
one.
huh?
First one that I accepted.
Yeah.
I should say. I got offered some other ones, but
first of all, that means the money's right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The money's cool. It was, it's it's a favor for, some people. So, all right, cool, whatever. It's not taking much of my time. It's not requiring me to do a lot.
Okay.
So I'm like, cool, you know what I mean? It's been a minute since I've been like to DJ outside for some people and get that energy from it. So absolutely, I'm down to do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to DJing this little gathering. It's a small gathering.
Small gathering.
I think it's only like 20 to 30 people, if that.
You know everybody in there?
No.
You got guidelines?
I haven't gotten guidelines, actually.
Do you have guidelines for yourself?
Oh, is that in the rider?
You gotta stay the fuck away from me. Don't come over to me. I don't want to hear that.
That's what I was going for.
Listen, if you want to request something, text me. Or like, don't come nowhere near me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're outside. It's outside. You know what I mean? We're like I said, it's a small gathering. It's outdoors. I'm probably not gonna be doing too much crazy shit like getting people turned up or whatever. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good time, and I know I was literally having this conversation in the barbershop earlier today about like what's the next wave for DJs, and they were talking about venues and shit like that, and I was like, private events, man. If you're a DJ, and you want to get out there, private events is probably their best route to go right now because you can have those events outdoors.
Right.
in smaller gatherings.
And it sounds like it's a lot safer than a
It's
club.
a lot safer than, being inside a club. And I get that a lot of cities and a lot of states are opening it up a little bit. So a lot of the spots, I know our guys over at like in Philly and in Atlantic City, those guys are doing like bottle service only and shit like that. So I know that type of stuff is starting to open up a little bit more. Obviously, we know Miami and fucking Texas and all that shit is just wide the fuck open.
Speaking of Texas, Jason Craig hit me up saying they went from 75% back down to 50% and closed at 9 o'clock.
Close at 9 o'clock?
Closed by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So they're just basically doing like day party type
That's
shit.
just El Paso right
Because
now.
COVID comes out once the sun goes down.
Stupid.
Freaks come out at night.
Man. I mean,
Viruses come out at night.
Viruses come out at night. Spreaders come out at night.
For some reason, when you were saying all the stars about the text me instead, like it went into this whole like 2 tin cans and a fucking string. And then I'm like, pretty soon, man, we're going to be like the dudes selling tickets at the movies. Like, what was the request you wanted behind a piece of glass?
Man.
Yeah.
Listen.
Anyway.
Dope.
It looked like a drive-thru in the hood.
Have fun with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next stream and see how it went.
Let us know.
Let you guys know how it went.
Real quick, shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to everybody in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sean, shout out to your new team.
LeBron James.
This nigga Sean.
How many rings you get? Sean got 4 rings. Shit.
4.
Foe.
man.
From,
Count 'em up,
two
baby.
from Miami, 1 from Cleveland, and now the Lakers.
Listen,
Yeah, man, good for
y'all
you,
swear?
Sean.
wherever he go, I'm
Wait,
going.
did you throw that hat? Did you throw that Laker hat away that you have?
Oh, the one that I had crossed out.
Yeah. You still have that hat?
No, it's gone.
He said he got an eraser.
Yeah.
He got white out.
He got white out.
He put that bitch inside.
He got a picture of the Lakers symbol and pasted it over it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, shout out to the Lakers, man. I was saying this on my stream the other night. Y'all know I'm not a Laker fan or anything like that, but
Should be though.
I said
Been in LA long
I said
enough.
it was dope. I said it was dope that the Lakers won. Obviously because they did it for Kobe. It was a huge moment. Like it like they had all the momentum,
Yeah.
and it was great for the city of LA, especially going through what we're going through. We're like one of the last cities to like be able to open up and do all this shit, and we're looking at everybody else like. You know how like you're on punishment and you see everybody outside playing and shit,
Yep.
and you just sitting there like, man, I want to be outside. That's LA right now. So LA, it was great for LA to get a win. Hopefully the Dodgers could pull one off, and they weren't looking
Not
too
looking
good
good,
tonight.
man. Not
But,
looking good.
Did y'all see that Odell Beckham Jr. went on a Call of Duty and he asked, "Yo, where's Bronny? He was supposed to be here." And then the friend was like, "Oh yeah, he can't make it tonight." He goes, "Oh, I wonder why."
Wow.
Those are the best memes.
Daddy's home.
Uh-huh.
That FaceTime one. I mean,
Hey, can you at least give me a little double tap, haha, like you acknowledge it?
oh,
I was
my bad.
busy. What was that all about? Braun was on his back. He was smoking a cigar or something.
And
Yeah, that's when he was FaceTiming his mom celebrating the championship.
Yeah.
But Bronny, maybe you're out of the loop on this one, but Bronny accidentally posted on his story smoking a blunt
Yeah.
while LeBron was on the. That's why you don't understand.
That's why I was
Okay.
like, all right.
LeBron
I just
was
figured
it-
dad's home, back to work, back to school. Or,
No,
or
nobody
back-
photoshopped that blunt in his mouth.
I didn't even know that was Braun. I just thought it was a random dude. That
You thought it was a
was a
brother.
grown man.
It is a grown man.
It is a grown man.
Bronny's voice is deeper than all of ours.
Oh, no.
But no, yeah, he accidentally posted a la Cardi B.
Ugh.
Maybe he was supposed to post in his close friends. Dad's not on there.
Stupid kid.
But let me tell you this: if you guys see the video of Bronny smoking that blunt, that is not his first blunt. That is a professional.
He hit that shit.
He hit that shit.
That boy got some lungs on him.
Yeah, he hit that shit professionally,
Mm.
and he posted it. And LeBron was in the bubble, and I think so was mom. So
Well,
that's
Well,
where all the
cat's
memes
away.
were coming from. Where Bronny's talking to Jimmy Butler, like, "Hey, when my dad takes 3 steps and a side step to the dribble, you pulling up."
Yeah. I'm gonna help you
He said,
defend
when my
that a little bit
he said-
better.
He said, when my dad looks at the ball, he's gonna take a side step 3.
oh my
man.
God. Good for the internet.
Yeah, great for the
Twitching with Rell, what we got?
Oh man,
We forgot to talk about it.
Yeah, we did. What's a good question?
You think of a question, globalization.
Yep.
Shout out to Angie V.
Yup.
Held it down with Mickey War. Up next, we got Miss
Miss
Bliss
Bliss.
with me.
Yep.
Shout out to Miss Bliss, DJ City's very own.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, she also posts she's one of the posters on DJ City's Instagram. She definitely sends us
media
a
manager.
social media manager.
She does all the stories and whatnots and shit. Like
Yeah.
that and everything.
And she hooks us up with the content.
Yeah,
She does those fancy little posts you see on our end.
The
That's
videos,
all Patricia,
that's all
DJ
her.
Bliss.
Bliss.
I'm gonna do a shameless plug too for Andre,
Mhm.
Chandre, for handling our belly buckets content.
Woot,
We
woot.
went live this week
Yeah, if you don't know,
at Belly Buckets.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
We're officially taking off.
and if you know a big guy that can hoop, tell him to send the videos in.
Send the highlight reels.
I actually had a Dikembe Mutombo. They were trying to post Sean's highlights, and I said, "He don't got a belly." So we're gonna highlight
your own platform.
We're gonna highlight our internal team down the road.
All about the big guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
that's the main focus right now.
for now, and it's just just for real quick because it is important.
hmm
For me, it's essentially a platform to help build confidence for the guys that might have grown up a little bigger. One of the biggest things that I can think of for me was, I've known Joe since I was 13 or 12 years old.
hmm
I look back at some of my high school pictures and compared to now, like I would never call high school me fat, but how I felt because of my peers, because of the people around me, because of society, like I really felt very little self-confidence and hated playing shirts and skins and whatnot. So this is just a platform to help kind of highlight those kids that might not get love on other platforms or might get brought down.
hmm
So it is something important. Big ups to everybody who reached out.
Yeah.
Your wife who reached out in case I needed any help with that.
Mm-hmm.
To just get the word out. So it's something really cool.
There
Shout out
you
to
go.
Chandre though.
Thank you, sir.
I gotta give him the love.
It's a wonderful. It's a wonderful platform. Great idea.
And we got a great team, man.
Exactly.
I gotta give love to
Yeah.
Mario and Cash.
Funny guys.
These guys they're keeping us young, to say the least.
For sure.
These guys are ridiculous. But yeah. Anyway.
All right, Rell, you got something for us?
Yeah, I think so. We asked this question last night on the stream, and it got some really funny responses from it. If you were to get arrested with no explanation, right? If you were to get arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family think you did? You got arrested, and there was no explanation why you got arrested.
That's a really good question.
You know what?
What you call it?
You know what Melissa
You
said?
two go first.
You know what
About
Melissa said about
Andy?
Andy? Because Andy was in the stream last night, and this shit was fucking hilarious, and it was on point.
Laundry money.
It's close, but not that. Inside trading. Yo, I fucking fell out. I was fucking
Wow,
weak, yo.
that's good.
I was fucking weak.
That's good.
Yeah. It's corporate. A white person's jail.
I was just like, yo, that was fucking. I was like, that was a good one, Andy. That was a good one.
Hey, you guys would be up 15% if you got into Tesla when I told you, by the way. FYI.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him about that last night.
Yeah, now
Stocks
it's like-
only go
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Now it's
No.
No, not anymore.
No.
It's a different
That's
energy.
not how it works. Not close to election time. That's not how it works.
I made some money on Bitcoin.
Huh?
Made some money on
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
It's a little riskier,
Yeah.
and there's a huge like security issue. But let's
Yeah.
not get away from the topic.
Right.
I'll discuss it
Yeah.
later.
So if you got arrested, if you got locked up with no explanation, what would your friends and family think that you did, or the reason that you got locked up?
Well, I got my mom in mind, and I think she would think that I would have been flying somewhere like overseas, and something happened to me overseas.
What
Now,
happened? to
what
you?
did you do?
Yeah. What would
Well,
have happened to you?
because the rules are different when you fly into different countries.
No, what did you do? What do you think she think you did?
Like the reason why you got arrested. Like you think just because like
Okay,
there would be a reason why you got arrested overseas.
okay. Here, how about this? I think she would have thought that if I got arrested on the road, let's say, she would have thought I got into a fight in a club.
Mm.
Because everything else that crosses my mind just wouldn't make sense. Because I'm more of a safety zone than a danger zone. But-
If I heard you got arrested,
Okay, what
I
would
would
you
think you were a serial killer.
You thought I killed someone.
Wait,
Yeah,
maybe
for
this
sure.
is a
Is it
lot more
because of
fun.
my-
Maybe this is a lot more fun if we try to guess
That's
what
what
we
we think. Yeah.
All right, let's turn that around.
Yeah.
Let's start with Joe.
Yeah. What would you think that
He's
Joe did if he
Dexter.
got arrested?
Joe's Dexter.
I would think Joe. See, that's the thing. I would think Joe. It would be
What'd you
some
want?
tax shit. Like Joe would like try to find his way or not like paying
paying taxes?
He wrote off
not
some
paying
shit.
taxes or like paying as least amount of taxes as possible. And then that shit got caught up with him. He was just like, because
Hey,
you know Joe.
hey.
Joe was like, listen, listen.
Y'all relax. This is being recorded.
For the record, I've never been late on my taxes.
Joe be like,
And I do everything legal
Joe
for
like,
the record.
can I write this shit off? No, Joe, I cannot write this off.
I need you to. He said,
That's where I was like, Joe got some tax problems.
Joe gonna see his account next year. Talking about my smile on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta write off my toothpaste.
Exactly.
I hate y'all.
So Sean thinks I'm a
incriminate-
serial killer.
Serial killer?
Yeah, for sure.
I can see that. I mean, I can't see, but I can see it.
No, you.
No, because I'm so quiet. Some people think like,
Yeah.
what's like he does something.
Mike, what do you think? What do you think he would have got arrested for?
Just the words Joe and arrested, like just don't
Joe-
really align.
Joe got arrested, but he's white.
How is that possible?
Like Joe's got a lot of privilege. This man gets a mask.
Right? He must have did some
Hand it
fucked
to
up
him.
shit.
He's got to do some really fucked up shit.
Shit.
He had a tan that week.
I mean, he might have.
Fresh out
If
Cancun.
if I find out that Joe got arrested, I think he punched the Postmates guy.
Oh wow! Wow!
Oh my God.
That's not a way to
Lost
circle
my
back
cool.
episodes.
Lost my cool with the Postmates essay.
Yeah, it was over.
Postmates Cholo. All right. So
I think mine's is easy.
Or one of your relatives that
I
supports
think
Trump.
mine's was easy. Everyone answered for me last night. They were like, "We already know it."
got caught with weed.
No, what? Nigga?
That's not illegal.
That's not illegal in LA.
The cops are gonna do some dumb shit though.
Nah, they can't do it.
You can't plant weed on more weed.
Everyone was
Being black on a Saturday night.
people were like,
Say
people were
2008.
like, Rell probably beat the shit out of somebody or he killed them. Like,
Oh.
yeah. This was like,
You got into a fight.
yeah, I got into a fight and I like really did some damage to somebody or some shit like that.
I could see Sean getting arrested for fighting someone over his fiance.
Wait, let's keep the focus on Rell.
Oh, we're not, okay. Yeah. What do you guys think, bro?
What do you think about Rell?
I'm trying to
Your
think of
man.
something stupid.
Yeah, you're a man.
I'm trying to think if I didn't know Rell the way that I know him. Just to make it a little more interesting.
I would say now it's because he can fight that he would fight somebody.
I could
I
fight
would
before
feel-
you knew I could fight. Wait a minute.
No, there's,
Yeah, exactly.
there's techniques. There's more technique now.
Okay, before
And you're probably itching to kick someone's ass because you got
no,
all these
now-
techniques.
Actually, I'm not, to believe it or not. Like, because, you know why? Because I think the opposite. Because, like Mike was saying, I know more technique. I think that I can do more damage to somebody. So I'm like, I'm not itching to do that to somebody because what the repercussions could be from that. I'm like, I'm not about to fight this dude because if I beat his ass, then I got to deal with the law.
No.
Yeah.
Just slap him.
Yeah,
Open hand. Can't get arrested.
that's a good point.
Just some
you can still bruise and black eye with an
open hand.
I'll palm the shit out this
Your open
motherfucker.
hand?
My big ass hand.
What about a backhand?
That's knuckle.
Imagine getting backhand.
Put some knuckle in that. You got
Nigga, that's the most disrespect. Slapping somebody is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more disrespectful. I would rather you punch me and knock me out than you slap me. Nigga, if you slap me,
And knock you
oh
out.
my God, I'm losing my shit. Yo,
But what if he gets slapped and
yo, I'm trying to tell you. All right, we're losing focus. All right. Mike, yeah, what would you think? What would happen if I got arrested? What would you think?
No, I think you punch somebody out of some disrespect, something they said.
Okay.
Like I think you checked them. Like what'd you say? And then it got into a thing.
Or he robbed him.
Or I robbed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other thing. People were like,
Yeah.
yeah, Rell probably robbed somebody.
Is that some New York shit?
Not to like give up my past and
Oh,
maybe
okay,
a
all right.
reason
Oh,
why, maybe part of the reason why I left New York in the first place. But you know, maybe
I got you.
My old ways crept up. Yeah.
We evolved.
Statute of limitations.
With Mickey, I think he got into some money shit. I would think he mishandled his money or got into some wrong investors, some sketchy investors, probably didn't know.
That almost happened.
If Mickey wasn't, you know what it was? You know what I would say? If Mickey wasn't with, if Mickey didn't have a girlfriend, I would think he flirted or he like tried to get at the wrong girl.
Overstep-
And
overstep
I thought you
his
said
boundaries.
I got a cooker.
and then you know it turned into some shit and Mickey had to handle business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mickey like, I gotta defend myself. So yeah.
Sean?
Yeah, it would be like something involving a female. For sure. Not that you would hurt a female, but like maybe defending one or you know.
That's happened.
Yeah.
Shit, I was important. I almost fought somebody.
Or he pissed the female off so bad she called the cops on his ass.
In my young, in my younger days, we've all grown.
We all have.
Through different
What do we
things.
think Sean would have done?
Oh man.
Man, I'm trying to think of old Sean. What would old Sean have done?
Unemployment fraud. No.
What the? Damn, bro.
Sean blocking that out.
God damn, man. What the?
I'm just trying to be comedy style.
Comedy style, theory style.
Oh, man.
Allegedly.
That's fucking hilarious.
Hey, but
bro.
you can really bleep that out and make it even funnier.
Nah, don't bleep that out. Leave that shit in there.
I just thought of something that I think I would probably get arrested for.
I don't know what Sean get arrested.
Hey, what did I say?
Wrong place,
I
wrong
said
time is probably
kicking
what I
someone's.
get arrested for.
I can see that.
Wrong place, wrong time. for
I
sure.
say you defending your fiance because I have seen you defend your
Hey, man.
one of your previous girlfriends.
I had to do it from her own family one time, man.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna talk about that, but
Yeah.
Shit, I almost got into a fight over Sean. Shit.
That happens.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
But that
My
was just-
girlfriend got into a fight because of Sean's ex.
I wasn't.
Everybody be getting into shit. That's why I'm like, Sean would never go to jail because Sean is rarely by himself, one.
Right.
And you know, and the person that's with him would go to jail before he did.
All right.
So I can't see it. Yeah. So, you know, that like we got some really good responses off that question last night. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this just for the sake of showing growth. At one point, except for Joe, I think we would all have been arrested for a DUI if the clubs were
Oh
open.
yeah, absolutely,
Bro.
100%.
I'm gonna just keep it real.
Yeah,
There-
100%. Yeah.
Where we lived,
Man.
that was an easy drive home, and also the worst blessing.
Man. I've had multiple interactions where my ass should have been locked up underneath the jail.
Yo.
Man.
But don't do that, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
We have Ubers, we
that
have
was a
Lyft.
different time.
Do we still have Lyft?
I mean, we will if you vote on the prop.
Yes, on
proposition
22.
is that?
Yes, on 22.
Right?
That's on
Exactly.
22.
Proposition
Yeah.
22. I mean, make
Yes,
sure you
on
vote
22.
yes if
Shit.
you're here in California. So we can
All right.
continue to have Lyft and Ubers.
All right.
I'd be damned if I go pick up my own food.
Before we get out of here, Jetpack Bags,
Yep.
MikiDz 15 MikiDz 15 is your coupon code to get
15%.
15%
Yes, sir.
off your entire cart.
Yeah.
I keep looking at this bag because I got to take it home. I keep leaving it here. Globalization mixes Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific specific daylight time. Again, up next is Bliss, DJ Bliss,
Yep.
and catch us there every Tuesday night.
Yes.
And we are out of here.
Howdy. Peace.
Peace.
See you.